Hey guys, here's the story of me making a cool little D&D Christmas display.
Alright, so a couple of weeks ago I was randomly browsing AliExpress and Wish for some cheap minis as a birthday gift to myself, and then I stumbled across this jacked Santa. It's been a rough year, so I decided I really needed this in my life.
I saw the price, considered taking out a small loan, and then I remembered watching some videos by Miniature Mashup where he modifies HeroClix minis and makes them into really cool ones for D&D. He takes cheap minis like these, HeroClix or Mage Knight, that sell from 25 cents to $1 or something like that, and he strips the paint off them with acetone. So I decided I was going to go to the grocery store and pick up a travel-sized nail polish remover, and then I critically failed my perception check and mistakenly unloaded my groceries into a stranger's car. I panicked when I realized that there was a person in the car. I actually thought that they had broken into my car and were trying to steal it. Then I realized it wasn't my car, it was just the same kind of car. Then I finally got home and realized I had failed an intelligence check and forgotten some of my groceries in that stranger's car. Unfortunately, that included the nail polish remover, which was the whole point of me going to the grocery store. The two lessons I took away from this is that, one, you don't need to actually strip off all the paint. You can just reprime it. It just won't be as highly detailed, and then you can repaint it however you want. And I also learned that sometimes people will not say a word when a stranger enters their car by mistake. Anyway, like I said, this has been a rough year for everyone, I assume. Things have been really different this year in so many different ways, especially around the holidays. For me, this was the first year I didn't celebrate any of the holidays with my family in person, and I also didn't have any Christmas tree or decorations of any kind this year, so that was kind of bumming me out. So I decided to make a little Christmas display. While waiting for the primer to dry, I decided to make a reindeer, a tree, and a snowman just to round out the project and get into the holiday spirit a little.
So I started off just by taking a bunch of wire and wrapping it around this middle segment here, just to kind of resemble a pine tree. And then I gave them a little bit of an arc to kind of help it look like the branches are sloping a little bit. And this is just like your typical brown-black paint mixed with Mod Podge and a little bit of water. Kind of just coated the whole thing and try to let the drops run down the lengths of wire to kind of give it a little bit more fullness and make it not look like metal. Here I just kind of followed my same procedure that I use for humanoid miniatures with paper clips twisted up and making it into like a little bit of a reindeer shape sticking out of the cork. And then I'm going to throw on a little neck and head onto that spine, kind of jam it into the cork so that I can make everything from on top of that and hold on to the cork so it's not like getting my hands all sticky. And then I use some floral wire for the antlers there. Kind of just took some air dry clay, globbed it on, and then used water to like smoothen out the segments that I'm sticking onto it there. And initially I tried to like follow some basic musculature, but then ended up just being a really random, just globbing whatever I could on there. Then I hit that with the same brown-black Mod Podge mix. And starting to look like something. This is the paint job that really makes me facepalm. I don't even want to look at this thing. Here's like one of the funnest parts of the project. I'm just taking some of that jute twine, cutting it up into little small bits. I saw Bard's Craft do this, and then a couple other people started doing it because he did it, and it's a really good idea.
Much like 2020, this patchy, unattractive pine tree has been a huge disappointment to the entire world. But nonetheless, here we are.
Alright, air dry clay snowman time. This is super easy. I just kind of made like a little cross-shaped armature, stuck the little snowball segments onto it, and then gave him a little Gandalf hat. Alright, back to Jack Santa. We're starting off with just the primer, and first things I'm going to do is just kind of base coat the skin tone areas. Alright, next I throw some red on the pants, do the cufflinks and the belt in brown, as well as the boots. and then I start trying to make this hat. Starts off looking like kind of a Native American headdress type thing. Then I'm able to finally twist it up after the first layer dries of glue, and then hit that with some red. And then we're going to make the fluffy white parts on there. First, I think I just did a quick brown wash over the musculature, try to bring out those pecs a little bit. And I always use tacky glue here. I'm basically just done with PVA. I just feel like it's not strong enough and it takes too long to dry. I'm just not patient enough for that. Here's a little cotton ball fuzz ball for the end, and I also use a cotton ball for the little fuzzy part around the rim. Then I'm hitting those eyes with a little pin because I don't have a good paintbrush. Here's my big mistake here, was just not leaving the handlebar mustache. I think I just should have done the handlebar mustache and just called it a day. Alright, here they are side by side, the original Stonewall miniature and my new Santa. And looks like I saved myself about, whatever, $27 or something.
I made my version of Jack Santa, a hideous reindeer, a simple snowman, and a modest Christmas tree. I made a couple presents too, and was pretty happy with how this Noel came out holding a present. Whatever you celebrate around this time of year, it's most likely been impacted pretty significantly by the ongoing global pandemic, and that really sucks. From start to finish, 2020 has kind of been a year-long dumpster fire. But the good news is it's almost over, and things will probably get better over time. Or at least it seems like the only way forward is to believe that. If you're someone that watches a lot of tabletop crafting videos on YouTube, and life is currently sucking for you, I definitely recommend trying out building some crafts if you have the time. It's a great way to get out of your head a little bit and stop fixating on negative stuff that you can't really control. Or at least for me it is.
Alright, and the final touch was making a little wreath to put around D20 Dragon's neck and make him a little bit more festive. So here come the glamour shots. Please enjoy these shots of the entire display. So right now we have all sorts of random miniatures from different things I've collected, and also 4 of these guys in this first crowd are miniatures that I made totally from scratch. They're just meant to be NPCs to kind of fill out a crowd. So if you want to check out that video, it's the one I uploaded directly before this one. And I really wish I could throw some Christmas music in the background here, but you know, I don't want to go to jail. Alright, and then in this last crowd, Jack Santa checking out the whole Christmas tree, and mixed in with this final crowd are an additional 5 NPC miniatures that are, again, just kind of meant to fill out a crowd. My very next video is kind of showing how I made those ones. So if you can pick them out, then you can get a little sneak preview.
Thanks for tuning in and checking out what I'm working on. I've been making more D&D miniatures from scratch, and I can't wait to share the process and to see how much I improve over the course of 2021. And I'd love for you to join me on this epic quest. Happy holidays, guys.